Hello, this video is brought to you by the streamingadvisor.com. Tailor your entertainment with streaming. And we are looking at the new Apple TV that just came in today. If you saw our unboxing video, you see that it's a very basic boxing. Looks nice, but the exciting thing is how does it actually work on a TV? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So, as you see, it has a very simple navigation and it's set up nice and clean. It's very bright. It's a real departure from the last one, which was black and silver. So this is this kind of institutional white cream color. You have access to all the basic stuff right here. This, of course, is hooking you in with their actual store, like the old Apple TV did. The navigation is very simple. The I was concerned with the touch remote. I was afraid it was going to be kind of all over the place. But the thing is if you move it to select, it will allow you to select. But if you say want to click on something, you've got to actually press down on the touch pad. I don't remember ever purchasing Revolution. That must have been one of those free previews. Let's go ahead and play this. I think it seems like they gave away the pilot for free way back when. Pilot. That show could have been so good. Yeah, look at that. It moves real nice and fast. But we're just going to stop that. You can get back and forth in the menu by pressing the menu button. That will pull, that will take you back to the home screen. Holding down the menu button will pull you all the way back in to the home screen. There's also essentially a home button. It looks like a monitor, and that controls things like the sleep settings. If you tap on it, it will bring you straight back to home. If you hold it down, it pulls up the sleep settings. So it's a multifunction. There's a volume control for the apps on there. I showed you that in the unboxing. But the big news is what's included already. So there's some new stuff. The music is the same as it ever was. But it's set up a little differently. You can sign up for your Apple Music. You can access the radio stations that it offers. Workout anthem. That's kind of cool. I like the way that it's organized. Like I said again, very simple color scheme. It's not super bright. I mean, so much of it is pretty, but the basic menus are pretty basic. It moves very fast. I just see the skipping around. It looks like it's powerful. I mean, it is. It's a 4K, or it's a quad core processor. If you actually have music purchased, you can access it. Like I said, this is iTunes. This is not a new innovation here. The biggest deal here is the App Store. The App Store is set up pretty nice for you. You can't use Siri to search in the App Store, but it is set up for you with TV in mind, and that's a helpful thing. A lot of these Android app stores, have everything, but this is just going to have TV watching apps. They make some suggestions for you here. And what's helpful is if you're already into Apple, if you've already got an iPad, you can go to purchased, and this is the apps that I had on my iPad already. So we don't have to search out Netflix, for instance. That's already on my iPad. We can just add it by clicking on Netflix, install it. Look at it, installs nice and fast, and open her up. Now it doesn't have me already signed in, but that's no big deal. We just sign in and we're good to go. We'll do a demonstration of Netflix and some other apps later on. We'll add Hulu. I hate that they dropped Hulu Plus as their name. I think that made it easier to understand, but I think they thought it was simplifying it. So that's them. That's their company. There we are. These load very, very fast. The apps do, and you've already seen that video loads quickly. So let's get out of that. But so you see that it's easy enough to add apps that you've already got, and it looks like they don't have a fully vetted app store just yet as far as categories. I'm looking for, like, under search, it would be really nice if there were something along the lines of, specific categories listed. So I would imagine that's going to come. The what to watch is kind of a hodgepodge. Looks like it's a ton of the things that they've got. What to play is obviously video games. And I've looked, and it doesn't have all the video games that are available in the iOS store right now. I wanted to add Monsters Legends because that's a game my daughter and I like to play, and it is not available. But obviously, there is more to it than was before. It is organized into categories, just not as many as you find on something like the Roku, which has about like 16 different categories. But of course, things grow. I'm sure Apple will grow. I think it's kind of funny that we have the WWE network listed under sports, right? Got a section just for racing games, but there's only like six. And then we got more games to explore. But that's like the extent of the App Store right now. Now, you might have seen in other videos, you can use the remote as a game controller. And of course, use it to explore. Something else helpful, if you find that your screen's getting too crowded, and we've only got a couple of things, but let's say you want to remove something, it's just like the iPad. If you want to remove something, you select it and hold the button down, the main touchpad button, and then you can take it right off the home screen. So that's nice. That's pretty familiar, pretty intuitive on their part. There's no more of the having to go into settings and hide things, but it's still going to be in your apps as purchased. Oh, looks like the menu moves kind of fast sometimes. Say there's Hulu and Netflix again, so we can add them right back to the home screen. So that's nice. And you see that in the store, it's pretty well organized on this side. I actually wish that the entire store was organized exactly like the purchased apps section. But we'll see some updates, I am sure. But overall, the controls are pretty fluid. I do feel like when you're in the App Store, it bounces around a little fast. If you've got photos set up, you can access them. Don't have a whole lot in there. I'm not a selfie person, so. But that is the basic controls of the Apple TV. I'm going to have a whole lot more about this later on, but we just wanted to show you a basic overview of the interface. I think the interface looks really good. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think it looks really good. It's bright, it's very happy, and it looks, not to be too much of a departure from what we had before. Now, of course, Siri is involved with this, so let me show you a little bit about Siri. It doesn't actually talk back to you. It's an on-screen thing. Like, watch. Hello, Siri. How are you today? Oh, that's its final answer. It's a very, very pop culture. You must watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Okay, so it pulls up some things here. But this is a new innovation that we're going to explore over time. Let's ask it a couple of other questions. Siri, can you give me the weather? There we are. As you're setting this up, you've got to give it location services. I skipped that step. But yes, 61 degrees in Raleigh. A nice humid 61 degrees here in Raleigh. Siri, show me Hulu. It doesn't understand Hulu. It always says who? Hulu Plus. Oh, got that. Doesn't look like you have an app named Hulu Plus. HULU. Oh, brother. Who, me? Yes, you. You stole the cookie. Okay, let's see. Hulu app. Now it knows that we've got an app called Hulu. Let's see if it pulls it up once we are, like if we add it back to the home screen. This might be something Apple needs to work on. Tick tock, tick tock, okay. So it's on there now. So let's see what happens when I ask for it now. Hulu? Show me the Hulu app. Show me the Hulu app. Okay, there we are. It has to be installed. I'm surprised it didn't pull it up in the App Store. Let's see. Bring me to the App Store. Okay. Siri, show me featured apps. WWE. Okay. So yeah, it looks like you have to install apps in order for this to react to you, which makes enough sense. It did bring us to the App Store. But that is Siri controls. We're going to be looking more deeply into that as we go forward, and I'm sure they're going to increase functionality with that. So, that is how you get around the Apple TV. We'll be looking at games and video playback and all kinds of things coming up later. I'm Ryan Downey, the streaming advisor. Stream on, my friends.